Hello and welcome to Grandpa Streams Minecraft. My name is History Wes and I am the aforementioned Grandpa. And right now the sun is going down. So I'm just going to hop back in and take a quick nap. It is Saturday. What is today? The 27th? Seems hard to believe. It is the 27th. It is Minecraft Live Day, which occurred this morning. I got up and got out of bed and then dozed through most of it. Interesting. Still thinking over the new update in my mind. So the Copper Age will be out in a few days, and they announced Mounts of Mayhem as the next drop. I was surprised they announced the name already, but I'm kind of glad they did. I guess no matter what else they add to it, it's going to be Mounts of Mayhem because we've got the new zombie horse, which is not really new, but we can actually play with it now. And we've got the Nautilus, which is interesting. It's interesting that they made it a rideable mob and not a dolphin. I'm thinking maybe because nobody can really ride a Nautilus in real life. They don't get that big in real life, although there were very large nautiloids in the prehistoric times. And you can make armor. When I first heard them say on stream there was Nautilus armor, I thought it was armor made out of Nautiluses, but no, it's armor made for a Nautilus to wear, which makes sense if you're going to make them a rideable mob. And I'm all for that. There should be more rideable mobs. I'm kind of hoping that they'll eventually put the ostrich in whatever land it was going to be, the Badlands, I guess, and they'll make it a rideable mob. Ever since I watched the 1960s version of Swiss Family Robinson, I've wanted to ride an ostrich. Maybe just once, but there you go. So here I am at the Manual Tree Farm, and I'm having a pretty good time using this. It produces a lot of, actually I didn't want all that many leaves, but that's fine. I'm going to switch out hose so that I can get more saplings. So let's see. Yeah, I thought Minecraft Live was fine. It's well produced. I'm happy with the announcements they made. I wish the show was longer again, had more to it, but I guess this is the way things are going to be from now on for the foreseeable future. So it was fine. I'll be interested in see what riding the Nautilus feels like. What is especially interest to me on the Mounts of Mayhem is they really upped the mob danger because now they've got zombie Nautiluses ridden by drowned, carrying tridents, which is pretty scary, and then they have zombie horses spawning with zombies riding them and using spears, which they should have called lances because the primary use seems to be for like jousting situations. When you're a mounted and you're facing off against another mounted opponent, and in that situation they definitely look like lances. They did say there were two ways that you could use the spear stuff. The other is, you know, more of a spear pokey situation. Oh, that makes sense. And that's about all there is to say about Minecraft Live. I'm sure I mean, everybody and their mothers made a video about it, so you can go watch it if you didn't see the original. And you can always go back and see the original VOD. And even Mumbo made a video short about it. And of course, he appeared on the broadcast because, you know, he's Mumbo Jumbo. And why wouldn't you have him on your broadcast? Let me go put these saplings back, and then we'll go back to the Nether. I have not played Minecraft in, I think, 2 days, which is really unusual for me. Yesterday I had a very long day of being grandpa. Day before, too. And the day before I had to take my bike to get a repair. Just a tire. Blew out a tire. And we don't have a bike shop in my town. So we had to drive to the closest town, which is a much smaller town and has 2 bike shops. Go figure. And today they had the bike ready, so I went and got it this morning. I had to call my son to come help me because, well, I don't have a vehicle at all with my wife at work with our car, and in any case, I didn't have a vehicle big enough to tow this ginormous electric bike that I have, which I've talked about before, is really enormous. It's tall enough that I have difficulty getting on it, and I'm a 6'1" tall man. Yes, part of that's because I'm old, but I usually take it to the edge of the curb and climb on it there. So now I got my bike back, and hopefully the weather turns good. Yesterday we had a thunderstorm and lightning strikes nearby, and we even had a power outage of about a minute. So, and it's looking very windy and dark now, so it's possible we could have another power outage. I built some iron golems, as you can see, and I put a bunch up here, and they've been killing some zombie piglins. Oh, this guy's not, and there's more on this side because there were fewer to kill, but they have been thinned out quite a bit. I built, I think, like 20, and some of them have wandered down this track. So, and the idea was that I would keep the skeletons from shooting me off when I'm trying to put the logs on. Okay. So I'm going to do some counting here, so bear with me. 2, 3, 5. I guess I don't really need to count because I can just eyeball it up to there. but I definitely don't want to fall down there and die, even though, full disclosure, I have keep inventory turned on. And the worst thing that would happen to me was I would spawn back in my bed with all my stuff, but I still don't want to die. I don't want to die. Could be a song there. No, I don't see any gas, dried gas down there. On the lookout. So last time I was streaming, I just about used up my resources. So the time that I have gone on this week, I've just been grinding out cherry wood. And even then, I haven't got nearly as much as I did before because yeah, I haven't been online as much. That's not to say I didn't play with my computer at all this week. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5. Is that right? Except the wrong, facing the wrong way. I've been going on Steam lately, and whenever they have some very low-priced games, I purchase them. And so I've been trying some of those out. I was trying some of those out yesterday. And nothing in particular. Okay, there we go. I think I'll take these and make another crafting table. Set it in here for now. Okay. We need stairs is what we need. Get him, guys. Good job. One skeleton I don't need to bother with. Okay, and I need to get some carpet in here to stop the spawns. All the way back to here. Nope. Incorrecto. Another skeleton dying, probably by a copper or an iron golem. Getting ahead of myself. Copper golems. Clearly I can't place stairs and talk at the same time. There we go. Ow. What killed you? I'm not complaining. So anyway, we went to the nearby town and got my bike, e-bike, from the repair place. And we had lunch at A&W Root Beer, which is another thing we don't have in my town, but they do in the nearby town. And it's one of the original ones too. It's been there like since the early 60s at least. And yeah, it was fine. I had a hamburger. Can't go wrong with a hamburger. It wasn't an award-winning hamburger, but it was fine. Fries were good. And A&W, I think, is the only place in the world that has diet root beer on tap. Lots of places have root beer on tap, but they have diet A&W root beer on tap. I don't know if, and their sign for their root beer says made daily. So I don't know if they make it daily with the diet root beer also. And for that matter, I don't know if making it daily really implies that they actually do anything other than mix the syrup. But, still good root beer. I hope you guys are doing as good as I am, possibly better. Well, that wasn't helpful. Killing gas right and left. Good. Killing skeletons too. Well, anyway, so the Nautilus. I was talking about the prehistory of the Nautilus last week, I think. But in any case, I'm always happy to see new mobs. I am worried about those drowned with the trident riding a Nautilus. But it'll be all right. So what else is going on? All right, I'll tell you something that I found crazy this week. I was watching the British baking show, and they make all kinds of stuff. They have a bread day, they have a cake day, pie day, week. Actually, they're weeks. So their task on this particular day was to make something they called flapjacks. Now, here in America, flapjacks are just another word for pancakes. Hot cakes, pancakes, griddle cakes, all the same. We would associate probably flapjacks with a description by a cowboy, what cowboys would call pancakes, for instance. And I know from listening to Rendog that in South Africa, at least with his family, flapjacks were also pancakes, particularly thick pancakes, and they called thin creations, what we would call a crepe, really, they called them pancakes. So they had flapjacks and pancakes. Well, the things they made on the Great British Baking Show and called flapjacks had nothing to do with pancakes, not even remotely. They were what I would call oat bars. They were made of oats and formed into shapes, and then had and then had some kind of a topping on top of it. First of all, if you took one of these things and held it up and waved it, it would not flap. I mean, pancakes, or flapjacks, as we say in the West, the cowboys at least, flap when you wave them. I always assumed that was why we called them flapjacks. I don't know why you would call an oatie bar a flapjack. But second of all, flapjack just doesn't sound like something a British person would say. It hurt my brain a little bit. Wow, it's a gas convention. So, just based on all of the way that British people talk, they watch footy on the telly after they eat brekkie. Why would they not call these things oaties? I mean, it's right there. Oat bar, oaties. Flapjack. So I'd like to find out I'm going to have to find out the origin of the word flapjack and who had it first. I mean, generally speaking, a lot of British people are not fond of using Americanisms, as they would call them, as if their language is being polluted some way. But some things I'll give them. It really should be aluminium. We have beryllium and plutonium and uranium. They're all EMs. Except for aluminum, we've changed. But it's a done deal now. So sorry. Can't go back because the spelling has changed too, not just the pronunciation. But yeah, this flapjack just sounds weird. Does not sound properly British at all. Of course, I will be the first to admit that they have lots of food things on that show that I have never heard of, and probably wouldn't want to eat. But speaking of British and American foods, and how British people sometimes give us crap about our stuff. Like, you always hear a British person complaining about biscuits and gravy. Like, yes, we get it. Your biscuits are what we would call cookies. And then they will say, well, you can see how we find it gross that to put gravy on a biscuit. Our biscuits are cookies. And I would think, yeah, that's true. That would be true if you guys didn't eat something called spotted dick or toad in a hole. You guys eat lots of things that sound disgusting, and quite a few things that actually are disgusting. Like pretty much every dessert made with suet. Which is, you know, an animal byproduct. A type of lard, basically. So get down off your high horse there, British people. Truthfully, I'm a big Anglophile. But I'm not a big fan of British food, I will say that. I'm sure there's some things that I would like, some things I do. I mean, chips, come on. Although I will tell you that I went to a supposedly authentic fish and chips place recently, and the chips were awful. And the people that were working there, I mean, they seemed authentic. They had British accents. English accents, I should say. But no, the chips were not great. On the other hand, we have a restaurant in the nearby town, the same one where the bike place is and the A&W is, called the Pasty Place, where they serve Cornish pasties, which is like a meat pie, and I love them. They are fantastic. I could eat Cornish pasties every day of my life. Definitely, I could. I didn't put any on this side yet. Any stairs. This place has some traditional pasties, like one made with a Guinness stew inside, and some that are just, you know, meat, potatoes, and turnips. But they also have them with all other kinds of stuff. They have a bangers and mash one, which I like a lot. They have let's see, a couple of chicken ones. They have excuse me, I had to stop for a drink. They have what's that? Satay chicken in one, which is I'm sure not traditional, but you know, if you look at the population and ethnic diversity of Great Britain these days, it tracks. They also serve mushy peas and sticky toffee pudding there, both of which I've had. Didn't care that much for the mushy peas. They tasted like peas, only mushy. I like peas, so you know, it wasn't like it was gross or anything, but I just prefer the texture of regular peas. I don't know why the mushy. And of course, the sticky toffee pudding was great. So, yep. If you're interested in the differences between American and British English and America and Britain in general, watch Lost in the Pond on YouTube. Great show. Love it to pieces. Lawrence, the host on there, delves into all these cultural differences and similarities. Okay, I guess we're going to make some more trees here. Yeah, this little tree farm works really well. I am not concerned, but cognizant of the fact that it uses a pretty good amount of bone meal. Maybe more than is necessary. So I've watched the movie Cars about 5,000 times in the last week because my grandson has graduated from Bluey and Ms. Rachel to Cars. No other Disney or Pixar movies, no sequels, just Cars, over and over and over again. Which, you know, not surprising. I've been there before. When my son was little, it was The Indian in the Cupboard, over and over and over again. Which is a great movie, Indian in the Cupboard. Some of David Keith's best work. David Keith played the cowboy. Great actor, not very famous. He was one of the also stars in the movie Officer and a Gentleman. And he's been in a couple other things. Not David Keith, not as famous as Keith David, who's also a great actor and a great voice actor. Keith David, the voice of Lord Akoto, chief of the Boer tribe in Princess Mononoke. And he's also the President of the United States on Rick and Morty. Great voice. Good actor, too. Okay. My mind's wandering. So I think I'm going to continue working on the nether hallway until I get to our turnoff for the fortress, which we're pretty close to. When we get to that end of the section I'm working on now, it's just a very short tunnel and then a very short way over open bad stuff below and exposed to skeletons from above. But we'll try and get there. Then I'm going to stop and I'm going to work some more on our maybe a couple more farms here in the main area, but also go to our medieval town and build at least one more villager complex so we can have some more free-range villagers. We only got one tree at that time. Although I think tomorrow what I might do is try and get the last 3 enchantments we need in our library with our librarian villagers. I'll have to find my paper where I've written down what the last 3 are. I'm pretty sure one of them is protection. We didn't get protection. And I'll just have to see the other ones because I don't remember. Oh, I think I'm out of, yep, out of bone meal on that side. Now I'm out of bone meal on that side. Okay. I need more bone meal. Yeah, I was just saying that farm used a lot of bone meal. And chopping leaves is oddly satisfying. So Halloween is coming up. And I'm sure my kids are looking for costumes for my grandson and for themselves probably. My kids always like to dress up, even after they were older, even when they were teenagers. It was never my thing. I was never a big fan of Halloween. And there just aren't that many trick-or-treaters out in our area anymore. They have all kinds of other things. Trunk or treat and similar activities either at malls or at hotel resorts where kids can come and get candy. I mean, I would just as soon buy the kids a bunch of candy and let them stay home, or have them stay home. But they like to go out. Let's see. Let's see what else we got that we can recycle that we don't want. You know what? I'm going to take these and put these up in the barn. Almost dark. So make a couple of stacks of hay here. Make this one big stack. Right here. Boy, that went quick. 64 blocks of hay. I'm drinking an Arnold Palmer today. That is half lemonade and half iced tea. And it's surprisingly good. I forgot I got an axolotl in there. Got apples all over the place. Can you recycle wart blocks? Seems like we should be able to. Yeah. Sweet. Finally, something useful to do with them. Okay. I imagine mushroom stems do too, and mushroom blocks, but I'm not going to waste those. So what day is it anyway? It is day 776. How about that? Okay, we definitely don't need any more of these. And that'll do it for now. Okay. So that'll give us some more bone meal. So I mentioned before I bought a new Apple Watch last week. Beautiful Apple Watch Ultra 3. It's very cool. I got this watch band, and one of the ones that came with it, and it was cool because it was a single strap you just tightened, and it had some reflector thread in it so that when I was on my bike people could see me. But over the next 2 or 3 days I started getting a rash on the back of my wrist, just in one spot, and I thought, could this really be from my watch band? So I took it off and just put a regular plastic band that I had on there, and yeah, it was the band. So I went on Amazon and I got one of each type of band. I got a knockoff, rather, of each type of band that Apple sells with their Ultra watches. And they were all okay, but I found this one that's all magnetic, and it's a gray with orange underneath, and it just is really cool. I like it better than the original. And so now I'm wearing that, and it only cost I think it was $15 compared to Apple branded bands that are like $90. And now I also don't have a rash on my wrist, a wrist rash, if you will. All right. But when I have an elytra, this would be a really cool place to come and fly around and look for dry guests. But as it is now, it's not a very hospitable locale, as they say. Not there, you. Up. And now I'm wondering where I should eat for dinner. I had a hamburger. Okay, didn't need to kill you. Took care of yourself. I mean, I had a hamburger for lunch. That was wasteful again. Well, we had a late lunch, so I'm definitely not hungry yet. The easy answer is a sub sandwich. We have every sub place around here, but the one that delivers most cheaply is Jimmy John's. Their sandwiches are good, but just don't quite feel like a sub sandwich, I don't think. I definitely don't want to waste full blocks like that. So yeah, so we get to the end here. We've just got a short tunnel, which we'll need to widen. And then right over here, where we have this branch off to the left, that's where the fortress is. So this tunnel is just basically got to go to there. And from then on, I'll probably go all the way out to the Badlands and work my way back this way with a different theme. One based on the Badlands, no doubt. Survivor just started again, and The Amazing Race. Those are the only two reality shows that I really watch. I've seen some junk on Netflix, but I mean, that's reality shows. Most of them are junk, but Survivor's pretty good. Amazing Race is okay. Although, since this season on Amazing Race, all of the racing teams are based on Big Brother contestants, so I have no idea who they are because I've never watched Big Brother even once. So, there you go. But I would totally go on Survivor. If they did a season for old men or old people in general, yeah, I would totally go. You know, it would have to be one where they, accounted for the fact that everybody had knee replacements and they needed all kinds of prescription medications in order to survive. That kind of old people. Because every once in a while they have an old person on, but they're always like, former Navy SEAL and 5-time Ironman champion, which is not me. I have 2 nephews who are not on Survivor, but who are in MMA fighting tournaments all the time. One's been doing it for a while, and I think the other one just started, but we just got a message that showed his fight card, I guess you could call it. So, yeah, I don't think I would have been doing any fighting even when I was in very good shape and young. Not much of a fighter. Alright, come on, Iron Golem. Either go down there or go out. Alright, I'll come back to you later. I guess I'll go all the way down and start on the side. Or should I go ahead and, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll do the backs of the three since I've already got them in place. What do I mean by that very non-descriptive thing? I mean, I'll go here and do that. So once this is done, I think I can only be attacked from the other side. And at least I'm somewhat obscured by those pillars and stuff. Okay. Like I said before, when I first started this hallway way down at the other end, I didn't have anything behind the trapdoor lantern and the leaves here, so it doesn't look as good, but I'm not going to go back and change all of them. Ain't no sense in that. It looks fine if you don't look too closely. There's a skeleton right there. Wonder if I can hit him. Yep. Okay, I'll make a cobblestone and basalt generator above the sugarcane factory, or sugarcane farm. There we go, and that makes this very easy. He said right before he screwed it up. Twice. Lots of leaves where that came from. Okay, what are we doing for lanterns? Or how are we doing for lanterns? I should say doing good. doing good and doing well. All right. There is my signal that our time is up. My name is History Wes. You've been watching Grandpa Streams Minecraft. I stream every Saturday and Sunday from 6 to 7 Pacific Time, 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific Time. I hope you'll stop by. Feel free to check out my channel. And if you feel like subscribing, that would be super awesome and everything. In the meantime, take care of yourselves.